Toastmaster, President, fellow Toastmasters and guests. What we got here? So it's a slight technical issue. It's not based on. Sorry about this. Fantastic, thank you. So I'll start again, shall I? Madam Toastmaster, President, fellow Toastmasters and guests, welcome. So, you cannot hold a torch to light another person's path without brightening your own. That is to say, in helping others, we are ourselves blessed, whether we expect to be or not. And this is something I was familiar with anyway, but in doing the research for this particular speech, I was reminded of that. Because in trying to find something to inspire you very handsome and beautiful people, I was also inspired myself. So tonight, the speech I've entitled Note to Self is because what I'm about to talk about is something that I think I should be doing myself. So I'm going to be trying to take this on and do it in my life, and I would encourage you guys to do it as well. So basically, this journey to finding inspiration and enlightenment began a while ago. After I left university and I left the structure of education, I was a bit lost. What do I do next? I've got all the qualifications they asked me to get. So luckily I found a video with Will Smith. And Will Smith was saying the keys to happiness and success is reading and running. And even back then, as a younger, more fitter person, I hated running, so I chose reading instead. I read loads of books, and I mostly read books on personal development. And what I'm going to talk about today is a lot of these books have similar themes in them. So I'm going to pick out 3 themes that I feel have resonated the most with me and are key to a happy and successful life. And I'm going to be giving you my take on them, basically. So here goes nothing. Theme number 1, live in the moment. That is to say, tomorrow is not promised. Whatever objective or goal or thing that you want to do in life, you need to start now. So the thing I tend to do is I tend to hide in the future. And a lot of us do this, where you go, oh, I'll do it next week. I'll go exercising when the weather's better. You know, I'll apply for that job when I'm less busy. We live in London, people. There's no such thing as less busy. So you've got to do it now. And another thing about living in the moment is it's just fun. Marie, can I get you now? So think of it this way. If your favorite song is on, you're at the bar, and the dance floor's over there, you've got 2 choices, right? You can walk to the dance floor and dance when you're on the dance floor, or you could enjoy the song in its entirety and dance to the dance floor. That's just an example of what life is. You can either dance to the dance floor and enjoy your music or not. Thank you, Marie. So living in the moment is the first key that I would give you. And I know this thing is scary, right? Like, there's risks involved. If you do something like quit your job to start your own business, or ask out that person you've been Facebook stalking for ages, they might say no and call the police. So there's risks involved, for sure. And that's one thing that can stop us from taking action on those things that we want and living in the moment. So that takes me to my second concept, which is obstacles will come. Now I'm going to spend a bit longer on this particular point here, because it's very relevant to me. And obstacles, call it pain, call it mistakes, call it failure, call it heartache, life will hit you and life will hit you hard. And that's going to happen regardless of what you do. I mean, I put off doing this speech for about 2 months because I was afraid, oh, it's not going to go that great, it's going to be so-and-so, and you know, whereas my other speech is well okay. So I had the history that I could have got on with this and done it straight away, but I stalled on it because I was like, oh, it's not going to be great. And you don't need research, you don't need examples of famous people. I don't need to tell you that Steve Jobs got fired or J.K. Rowling got rejected. In our own personal life, there's enough rejection and pain to pull on ourselves, right? I mean, an example, going back to my uni experience, it took me 6 months to find a job from when I left university. And then 7 years later, it took me a whole year to find a job here at LBS. I'd actually applied for more jobs in that 6 months than I did in a year. Reason being, the memory of the pain of all the rejection during that 6 months made me make up the most excuses. I made up excuses like, oh no, the money's too much, oh that job's too good for me. How can a job be too good for you? So these things stick with us. We've got to remember that these pains happen anyway, so you might as well get on with it. So it's like this. You could be stood here, your objectives are there once again, and you're here. You could decide, I'm not going to move. And guess what's going to happen? Life will hit you. Oh, you go, I'll carry on staying here. Life will hit you again. Life will keep hitting you if you stand here. But if you take a step forward, guess what happens? Life will hit you. But you can get back up, take another step, and guess what happens? Life will hit you, but you get stronger, you get wiser, you get experienced. So when life hits you, it doesn't hurt that much. And you keep going, life hits you again, life hits you again, life hits you again, but then you reach your target. So you've got two choices. You can stay over there and keep getting hit, or you can walk forward, take the hits, but keep moving forward. So obstacles will come, ladies and gentlemen, but it's down to you to keep going forward and doing what it is that needs to be done to reach your objectives. Now, I need to go back to the point about Will Smith reading and running. So some of you might be wondering, if you were listening, like I meant here said, you would be wondering, what was the running about? So Will Smith said, obviously the reason you'd read is because any issue you're going through, no matter what it is, someone in history has gone through it and they've written it down. So you read enough books, you will find your answer. With the running, now that we're talking about obstacles and pains, when you run, especially long distances, eventually you're going to start to ache, whether it's your knees, your back, your lungs, something will burn. But if you keep running, I don't know, if you keep running, you get this voice in your head that goes, keep going, one more step, keep going. And the further you go, the more runs you do, the stronger that voice gets. And then that voice can be applied in other situations. When you're stuck in other situations, that voice is still with you. The pain is the same. Whether it's the pain of losing a job or the pain of running, that voice is there telling you, keep going. So if you take anything away from this, ladies and gentlemen, do run. And even the most reluctant runner I know has started doing their bit. That's me, 4.74 miles. And also shout out my Twitter, @YoKalindo. Follow me on Twitter. So you gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable. You gotta go for the things you want, because even if you don't go for the things you want, life will attack you anyway. So you might as well get attacked reaching for something that you really want. But that brings me on to my third and final concept of how to potentially achieve a successful and happy life. And this goes all the way back to the start. This diagram here. So you can't light another person's path without brightening your own. And the third concept is you can't do this on your own. What you get is what you give. You got to be out there helping people. And of course, we can go into a spiritual morality type conversation where we talk about helping the poor, talk about giving to charity, but we're business people here, right? Let's take it on a purely operational level. If you're a graphic designer and you do great work, you care about your customers and you give them exactly what they want, you give them more than what they want, they're going to come back to you, they're going to recommend you, so forth. If you help entrepreneurs pitch for money and they are successful because you poured your heart and soul into them, of course they're going to recommend you. Of course when they get that old IPO, whatever that means, they're going to come back to you and give you shares. So what you get is what you give on that pure level. So those are my three concepts that I wanted to focus on. One is live in the moment. Tomorrow is not promised. Two, obstacles will come. So go for what it is that you want to do. And what you get is what you give. So give your very best to others and you will receive that as well. Almost as a little bonus round, action. So I hear motivational speeches all the time. I've read all those books, and as you might have noticed, I'm not a millionaire. You always get stuck somewhere, right? But if we go back, so I'm just going to reinforce the action, right? Live in the moment. If you know tomorrow is not promised, you've got to act today. You know, we might not be here tomorrow. Obstacles will come, so you're going to get slapped in the face anyway, so you might as well act. And helping others, if you can't find the motivation to help yourself, you start helping enough people, and believe you me, there's always people out there that need help. Eventually that motivation will come to you, or something will come back to you. And very, very lastly, I guess you could call this my pièce de résistance. Okay? What's worse than not trying and getting nowhere? Even worse than trying and getting nowhere. In my opinion, it's trying, getting exactly what you want and not realizing it. So you've got to know what it is that you want, people. So hashtag note to self. We all need to write this down. Someone write it down for me. And that's basically to say, sometimes the thing we want most, we had all along. Thank you.
Aww.